I mean, my first drug wasn't fucking weed or cigarettes or alcohol like a normal kid. My first drug was slamming fucking heroin. Like, I didn't even smoke it.
At 9. All right, Scooter.
Yes, sir.
Scooter, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Sacramento, California.
Mm-hmm. And tell me about how you grew up. You had,
I grew up in Venice, and it was a very, like...
You grew up in Venice?
Yeah, I was born in Sacramento, though. And actually, I grew up in Roseville. Sorry, I moved to Venice probably when I was 16. More like ran away with my girlfriend. She ended up being my wife and stuff. I was in the foster care system my entire life, man. And it, like, it sucks. But it was,
You went to the foster system at what age?
2.5.
Oh, why do you think your parents lost you?
I know why my mom did it, because she valued drugs over me. And then, like, it sucks saying this, but, like, I understand why. Just, like, drugs completely numb away every ounce of pain there is to be had. You know?
How would you describe your childhood?
Very unique. My parents, which are the people who took care of me, not the people who birthed me. So, like, my foster parents, they were gay. You know, I had 2 homosexual men for dads. I have nothing against gay people. I love them. Like, they're awesome people, man. But I had a very traumatic childhood with, like, traumas and getting fucking in a hostage situation. I got shot in the head by a stray cop bullet. I have a titanium plate there now. Huh.
What kind of stuff was going on at home that you would call it traumatic?
Parents never really, like, what's the word? Parents were, nothing I did was good enough. Everything I did was wrong. Like, I don't know. I brushed my teeth the wrong way, my tongue first and my fronts normally. And then do my tongue again. I'd get bitched at for something like that for hours. I'd get wine bottles thrown at me. My parents used to literally take everything out of my room except the box frame. I mostly had a box frame my entire childhood.
You made it through high school?
Yeah, I actually made it through college, man.
Oh, good for you.
My mom was, not my mom, sorry. My parents weren't even happy for me when I got a girlfriend, you know. I only dated one girl, and I still have only dated one girl. And she passed away along with, like, my kid due to a drunk driver, man.
I'm sorry.
And I have to, like, wake up every morning looking at myself saying, I'm like, thinking to myself that I'm not man. I wasn't man enough to save them, man. Like, I'm lost, you know? I found myself in being a father. And
how long ago did this happen to your girlfriend?
6 months ago. Just when, like, you really... And I all you can do now is to, like, get high. It's one thing losing your family. It's one thing holding them, telling them that everything's going to be all right. When you know it's not. You know that they're just going to die. But you can't tell them that. You can't tell your loved one that you don't want the last thing they see is a hysterical face. You want the last thing them to see is a smiling, warmth.
Today, are you living on Skid Row?
I'm really just walking around until I go to sleep, and then I do it again, walk around.
Just around the city?
I don't have a solid place to lay my head because, like, if I do, then everything of mine gets stolen. I had 2 cars, man. I mean, for fuck's sake, I have my licensing to be a fucking chiropractor, you know? But my only desire is to just avoid what happened, you know? And I think I'm still in shock, man.
So you're smoking fentanyl now?
I slam it mainly, but...
Oh, okay. And that started when?
Oh, I've been doing fentanyl and heroin and opiates since I was 9 years old. My mom got me into them, smoking them actually, when I was 9. When I was 9, I was super depressed too. Had what's called reactive attachment disorder, or RAD. I have bipolar 1, which is manic depression. And I have ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder. So, like, literally everything I did was just causing me pain. And it was my fault, but, like, at the same time, I couldn't help. I couldn't not do it, you know? It was like, I had no impulse control until that, you know? And, like, I became super depressed when I got shot in the head, and I was fucking a retard for years, man.
Do you feel like the drug addiction, well, of course it came from your mom, but is it also hereditary?
I think the taste for it came from my mom, but the actual addiction itself came from my own doing.
So your adopted parents had you, but you were back with your mom when you were 9?
Mm-mm.
So how did she introduce you to that?
Facebook. We, like, somehow, like, got in contact, and we got high.
So you were communicating with her through Facebook, and then you connected?
Yeah. And that was the worst decision of my life. That kick-started me into drugs. I mean, my first drug wasn't fucking weed or cigarettes or alcohol like a normal kid. My first drug was slamming fucking heroin. Like, I didn't even smoke it.
At 9?
It wasn't even like a lot. Like, my mom knew what she was doing with drugs, just the right amount to make me like them, you know, not to give me a bad high. But at the point where she gave me the heroin and shit, I was on painkillers for, like, my head, you know.
Your girlfriend that you lost,
She ended up being my fiance.
fiance, she was also using?
No.
She was clean.
Mm-hmm. I call her my tether, like my little thread. She keeps me grounded, man. Even when she's gone, she always tells me to do the right decision.
And today you have friends? You're just alone, wandering the streets?
I have no friends. Friends just fucking take shit from you. They just like to use you. There's no like, hey man, how's your day going? Let me buy you something to drink, you know? Or, hey, let's go on the top of a fucking parking garage and just sit and watch the sunset or sunrise and like talk deeply, you know? It's, yo, you got any drugs, man? Let me get some. Or, what do you want me to steal for you to get drugs, you know? Or, hey man, I just stole this car, or I just stole this motorcycle. This trade, you know?
What do you worry about now? What are you afraid of?
Living. I'm afraid of living. I am terrified of living and nothing else.
Did the loss of your fiance kind of send you in this, and your child send you in this spiral?
It did. It really did.
And were there medications for the bipolar disorder and other?
I didn't take any medications. My parents didn't believe in that shit.
So you never took the medications? Were you ever prescribed even? No.
Nope. Nope.
Do you have hope of getting your life together and straightening it out, or are you just kind of waiting to?
I'm just kind of waiting to die, honestly.
How old are you now?
22.
You're 22. You're still a kid. If you were offered help to try to find a drug program or housing or anything like that, is that something you'd be open to, or you just
I would 100% be willing to do housing, but I can't get rid of drugs, man. The pain and knowing I wasn't man enough to save my family.
Why do you feel like it was up to you to save them? What was the situation?
Because I could have pushed them out the way, but I froze.
What was? How did they pass away?
A drunk driver ran them over when we were just walking through fucking Carl's Jr. for a fucking milkshake, and that's like the God honest truth. I held them in my arms as they were breathing, and then they weren't.
You feel like you could have helped
I
them?
feel like I could have like not frozen and be a little bitch. But I really don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay, sorry. I mean, without therapy, that could be a heavy weight on your shoulders forever, though. Scooter, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your 22 years?
don't take anybody for granted, even if they annoy the living shit out of you. Every breath is a blessing. And think about that person on the sidewalk asking for change, man. They could be someone in your family someday, you know? And you don't want people to throw cups and like trash at them. You know, we're all human, man. We all bleed the same blood, you know?
All right, Scooter, well, thank you for coming in and sharing your story. I'll give you some places that can give you help if you're open to it. Thank you.
Thank you.